And let's welcome to the show former Arkansas governor and former federal prosecutor Asa Hutchinson. Great to see you, Governor. You've had a lot of experience with this type of thing, and both as a prosecutor and as a member of the Senate. What is your reaction to that report that you just heard?
Well, when I was in Congress, I served on the Intelligence Committee. They're used to handling classified information. They know how to protect that, and that's their job. So it's very important that the oversight committees have access to the classified documents that were found in the president's home and the former president's home, so they can know the level of risk and what's at stake here. Secondly, the reason they're saying you can't have this is that there's an ongoing investigation by the special prosecutors. Well, this happens all the time, and the Justice Department knows how to make decisions without having pressure. Absolutely. But it's important that these go on simultaneously, and that the oversight committees have access to these important documents so they know how to do their job.
Well, it's also important to see what the documents were, because there may have been members of the Biden family besides Joe Biden himself that were looking at this, where there are indications now that perhaps some of the things that Hunter Biden was writing to his friends in Ukraine, and perhaps China as well, had to do with some of the material that was in those classified docs. In fact, Senator Cruz was speaking about that. I just want to play a soundbite from the senator and get your reaction. Roll tape.
Hunter Biden didn't write that. Hunter Biden is not an expert on Ukraine. He's not an expert on Eastern Europe. He's not an expert on Russia. But that email did help get him on the board of Burisma. It did help get him paid $83,000 a month, because it showed a level of expertise not coming from him, but he was getting it from somewhere. That's clearly from some sort of briefing. And I also believe it is critical for the FBI to search Hunter Biden's home and office residences to make sure there are no classified documents there. Given all the evidence that's piling up, we need to ascertain who's had access to what and when.
Governor, you and I dealt with each other during the Clinton impeachment hearings. The whole family, the Clinton family, came into the discussion of what was happening there. Does this remind you at all of the Clinton family's mixing of business and politics?
Well, it's hard on the extended family, but a couple things you can't do. You can't misuse information. You should not utilize the access for making money on the outside. And here in this case, with Senator Cruz's comments, you got to make sure we follow the facts and not just speculation. But this is something that the special prosecutor that has been appointed for Biden's documents, classified documents, are found in his home. They're going to be able to review this, and if they need to widen the investigation, they should be able to go to the Attorney General and get authority to widen the investigation. But let's not get ahead of the fact.
Right.
Let's follow the facts, and I think it raises good questions, but we don't want to put too much speculation in there too early.
Well, on the other hand, you look at some of these emails by Hunter Biden, one of which, because he did use that house to set up an office of his own, and one of the text messages was, "Have what's in storage sent to my parents' guest house." So clearly he was looking at a lot of the documents that the president had brought to that house.
Well, absolutely. Those are legitimate concerns and questions in light of the documents being found in the residence. But here again, this is one of the reasons that the Intelligence Committee should be able to look at those documents and make their own determination there. Also, the level of seriousness here as to those classified documents, whether they were simply overclassified, whether they were out of date, or whether this is still something that the national interest has to be protected. So let's follow the facts, but they need to have that information to have proper oversight.
Yeah, well, we need your prosecutorial expertise here. Perhaps we'll be able to use that in upcoming months. Thank you very much for being here, Governor. Appreciate it.